that parable, Jesus was actually talking about himself. He left his seat in glory and came to save mankind. We are the ones bleeding, dying on the Jericho road. Jesus said, the thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. That is the life of Jesus. Jesus was talking about himself in that parable. Now, if we now say Christ in you, the hope of glory, or Christ in me, the hope of glory, that means that, like we read in Galatians chapter 2 verse 20, it says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I that live, but Christ that lives in me. And the life I live now is the life by faith in the Son of God. That means the way I live my life, I'm to live my life as Christ will live. So when we are saying Christ in you, the hope of glory, yes, we are talking about hope. We are saying that things can change because Jesus changes things. He gives beauty in place of ashes, oil of gladness in place of mourning, garment of praise in place of the spirit of despair. Jesus does that. He has done that repeatedly in the lives of his children, and I have my own testimonies, too many to even try to mention one here. But while Jesus is the hope of glory and the hope, whether we live or we die, he is our hope. Jesus said to his followers and said, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, even if he dies, yet he will live. Because Jesus lives, we will live. So even in the future, we have hope. But our hope is not for the future alone. Our hope is even in the present. In Nigeria today, we can say that we are like the victims of the Jericho road. Bandits have come, robbers have come, the wicked have come. Nigeria has been left wounded, bleeding, and dying. And God is calling on all of us to rise up, that Nigeria will be healed. God is calling us to be the Samaritans. The Jericho road is between your house and your office. The Jericho road is where you move around. There are people wounded, bleeding, and dying. They need to be lifted up, and you have to do something. I call on our government to see Nigeria as bleeding, wounded, and dying. And we need Samaritan leaders. We need Samaritan principals in school, Samaritan vice chancellors, Samaritan businessmen, Samaritan pastors who will help members of their churches to get back to their feet, Samaritan senators, Samaritan ministers, Samaritan president. Nigeria is wounded, bleeding, and dying. We don't want additional wounds. We want to be healed. We want to thank Mr. President. I listened to his speech on Democracy Day and wonderful promises. The promise on our economy, the promise on our security, the promise on empowerment. I was so glad to hear even women and youths will be accommodated. We will soon come out of the woods. I share the optimism of the president. I'm so happy I join all the people that are also saying this about the president and thanking him. But I want Mr. President and all our leaders in Nigeria to know that Nigerians, they are tired of promises. We have had promises and promises and promises and promises. Listen to me. I am not saying that the present promise, I'm not saying they are not going to be fulfilled. What I'm saying is that the promises we had in the past, they were not fulfilled. The only way to make a difference is to be sure that these promises are turned into action. Concerning our nation, the nation is made a better place. That is the Samaritan spirit. That is the one. But in order for us to achieve this, it is not for our leaders alone. it is for all of us. God is sending you. You want Nigeria to be a better place? Stop blaming our leaders. We are all guilty. I know that many people want us to come out of the woods. I want to appeal to all the people, labor unions and all these groups. I want to appeal that the dialogue to try to solve the matter should be pursued. Let the economy of the nation not be grounded. That will not move us forward. Let the dialogue be pursued, and by the grace of God, Nigeria will turn around by God's own intervention. Let us continue with the dialogue. I plead with the president, let there be action to every word that has been spoken. I plead with our leaders. We are so unhappy that democracy is being eroded in Africa. We are seeing a lot of coups and counter coups holding, but then that should remind our leaders that the dividends of democracy is the one that is going to promote it in the heart of the people. Let the people be able to say, yes, in democracy we have a better life. We have something to show. We pray that God will lead our leaders to be able to do this. But you Nigerians, I want to appeal to you. You are my brothers and my sisters. I'm appealing to you to be patient. If a woman is expecting a child, she has to wait for it. If a farmer is expecting harvest, he has to wait for it. Nothing just happens overnight. Let us be praying and give our leaders a chance and be hopeful and speak positively about Nigeria. There is hope for Nigeria. There is hope for your family. There is hope for your life. There is hope for your future. There is hope for our progress. As a nation, we will not remain a laughing stock. Some people have laughed at us for a while. Soon and very soon, they will say about Nigeria, the Lord has done great things for him. That is the hope we have. That is the joy we have. Go and be a good Samaritan. And Mr. President, our governors, our senators, our ministers, you have said so many things. Go now and do what you have said. Go and do likewise. Happy 63rd Independence.